understand when the day dawns. Hey, yeah. Is it Dublin's green or Barcelona's sun? Pick your place, the journey's begun. The study abroad portal, yeah. Dreaming, live it anywhere. The study abroad portal, yeah. Life's changing, skies are fair.
Great. Welcome everybody to this webinar that you joined in to hear more about the BME program, International Business Management, where you can study abroad in 3 different countries in Europe and beyond. So you hear more about that in the next 45 minutes or so from all the different speakers that we have lined up for you. So my name is Luc Mulling. I'm the moderator of today, and we will go over to the speakers in just a minute. But I'd like to just emphasize on the interactive options we have. So first of all, as I see some people already did, you can tell us where you're logging in from in the chat. That way we have a nice idea of people from different locations that they're logging in. So please, by all means, go ahead. And second of all, very important, if you have any questions, you can do that through the panel called questions at the right bottom next to it. Also, I will be opening up a couple of poll questions. So thank you for also providing your feedback so that we get to know you a little bit better. For example, what is the most important to you in selecting a university program, which I just opened up. And last but not least, we have a little fun button as well. At the bottom of the screen, I saw already some people found it. When you click on React, you can give a reaction of your choice, exactly like that. And we like to get those just to make it a bit more fun and interactive for the speakers. And talking about speakers, let's go over to them. We're going to start with Anna. She will introduce herself, and then the rest of the team will follow. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Luc, and welcome everyone to this webinar. So today we will talk to you about BME, which is short for Business Management Across Europe. It's one of the most exciting study programs in the world you'll find, or at least we're going to try and convince you of that during this webinar. So who are we today? Myself, I'm Anna, and I am the program coordinator of BME. I work for one of the universities, UCLL in Leuven in Belgium. And together with me, I've got 2 BME students who are currently in their 2nd year of this program. They're doing an internship with BME, and I'll let them introduce them to you themselves. So Alvise, the floor is yours.
Yes, hello, my name is Alvise. I'm from Venice, Italy, and 2 years ago, around that time, I chose to embark in this journey at the BME program, studying international business management and marketing.
Thank you. And Matthias is the other student.
Hi, I'm Matthias. I am originally from Venezuela, and I am half Spanish. And yeah, the same 2 years ago, well, I wanted to study business, and because I'm Spanish, I thought that Europe would be the best choice. So now I'm here.
Great, thank you. So what are we going to cover today? Oh no, before I forget, very special guests today. There's not only us as hosts, we have 2 special guests today, Ryan and Betty. They're 2 BME alumni. Ryan graduated nearly 10 years ago. He is a very experienced alumni. And we have Betty. She graduated not so long ago. And they'll be talking to you about their experiences after BME in a minute. So what are we going to cover today? We'll give a brief introduction on BME, the study program, and what it is exactly. After that, we'll go into more detail about the post-graduation options, so master degrees and professional opportunities. And for that, who else is better than to talk about it than the alumni I just showed to you? And we'll have enough time for Q&A as well. So any questions you have, you can put in the question box like Luc said, and we'll answer them after the webinar. So let's jump into it. Alvise is going to explain you a bit more about BME and what it is. So Alvise, I'll give the floor to you now.
Sure, thank you. Yes, BME, or as Anna said, Business Management Across Europe, is an international bachelor program in business management and marketing. And its main feature is that over the course of 3 years, students get the occasion to study in 3 different countries across 3 different universities and obtain 2 degrees at the end. It is a double degree. It is fully taught in English, and it has a total of 180 European credits, 60 credits per year. For those that are listening from outside of Europe, it is our European system of managing credits, university credits. And I will now allow Matthias to give us more information about the different tracks across Europe that you can embark yourself in.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the exciting part of the BME. This is where you create your own study journey. So for the study track, you have the option of in your 3 years, you will be able to see 3 different countries. You will be able to choose in your first year and your third year where you want to go. The good thing is that there is no limit on students that can go to each partner. So, for example, if you want to go to Barcelona, Budapest, Helsinki, Holding, or Medellin in your first year, there will be no problem. You don't have to like rush to find a spot or anything. You can calmly take your decision and choose where you want to go. Usually, BME students for the first year, they choose where they want to live, where they want to have their first experience. After that, you'll go to your second year, which will be in Leuven, um, in Belgium. This year, it will be a bit different because you have 1 semester of classes and one of an international internship, and then you have the third year where you can choose again. You can choose between Rennes, Aachen, Dublin, London, Coventry, Worcester, and here there is a catch that in Aachen you will have only 4 spots if you want to go there. That is because of the it is subsidized because of the government. So there's a very little to none tuition fee. But rather than that, you can choose. Usually, a third year students choose depending um on what they wish to go in their future, because you will have a double degree, which will be explained a bit and further later. And one of those degrees will be given by your third year partner.
Anna, please, you're muted. Yes,
I
thank you.
told you I wouldn't promise that I would remember to unmute. I'm sorry. So yeah, as we've already mentioned a couple of times, this is a double degree program. So basically, this means that you will get physically 2 different degrees. One of them will be from my university I work for, from UCLL, which is a Bachelor in International Business Management Marketing. And the second degree will be issued by the third year partners. So you've seen that in the previous slides, you could choose between these 6 different countries. So each one of them delivers a different degree. That's why Matthias said in the first year, students choose their destination mostly based on where they want to go live for a year, what language they would like to study for a year as well. But in the third year, you would rather choose based on what specialization you wish to have. As you can see, some degrees specialize more in management and some specialize more in marketing. So depending on your interest, you choose your third year partner and you will get their degree. Which is amazing, by the way. To get 2 degrees in 3 years' time is a really big advantage of this program. So what do you do after BME? So you've had 3 amazing years, you've got your double degree, what to do now? There's plenty of options. First of all, you could continue your studies. So if you wish to even further specialize in a certain field, you could go for a master program. And that master program, you could either do at one of the BME partners, the BME partner universities, which gives you the advantage that usually the admission process is very easy. So there's no more testing or looking at your qualifications. No, you get just straight access into the master programs. So with 1 year extra or 2 years extra, you would get a master degree. Another advantage to do it at a BME partner is that you would get a fee discount. When you have graduated, say like Betty graduated from Dublin Business School in her third year, she would be getting a tuition fee reduction because she is an alumni from that school. So those are two great advantages of doing it at one of the BME partners. But of course, you are free to do it at any university in the world, in Europe or outside. If you were to do it in another university, of course, their own admission processes would apply. And it can be a bit more of a hassle, but the degree is fully accredited in Europe, so you're free to go wherever you want to go. Just to give you an idea, these are some examples of master programs at our partner institutions. I selected a few just to show you the variety there is. So we've got degrees in international management, but also in luxury marketing and brand management, sports management, tourism management. So as you can see, there's a lot of variety, which is really cool. If you've had enough of studying, you're like, no way, I'm going to spend another year in class, you could start your career, because with the double degree, it's very possible to get your job within the first few months after graduating. These are some examples of job positions our graduates end up in. Just to name a few: marketing manager, communication manager, market researcher, if you're more into that field, sales. If you like numbers, you can go into data analytics, or you can start your own business and become an entrepreneur. And this is a good connection to my next slide, because now we'll have a talk with the alumni. And Ryan is actually one of our students that decided to go to the entrepreneur route. He will tell you all about it himself. And Betty chose the first route. She decided to go for a master's, and she decided to do a master's in human resource management at the Dublin Business School, where she also did her final year of the BME program. I'm sorry, there's a bit background noise. They're starting to work on the windows here in the room I'm in. So, but anyway, my part is finished anyway, so that's perfect timing. I'll give the floor to Ryan now, share his experience with you. So Ryan, the floor is yours.
Perfect. Hello, everybody. Pleasure to be here. I did the BME program, honestly, nearly 10 years ago now. I can't believe it's nearly been a decade. My study track at the time, there wasn't as many countries as you guys are potentially going to experience. We had a few less countries. My track was Spain. I went to Barcelona for the first year. I went to Belgium for the second year. And I'm not sure if it's still there now, but at the second half of your year, in your second year, you're allowed to take an internship. And you can do that anywhere else in the world. Correct me if I'm wrong, team here. But okay, that's good. So you could do your first half in Belgium, and then what I did, I went to Bali in Indonesia and worked there for 6 months. So that is a whole unique experience that you could never get whilst still studying. And then my final year was in France, and I had a choice there, obviously, between the UK and France. And I'm originally from Jersey, which is a small island next to France. And being a part of the BME program meant that, I could see the world and still get a degree at the same time, whilst not having to pay the same fees that they charge in the UK sometimes as well, which is a huge benefit. Now, my early career, so sort of how I got to where I am today. For those of you that have met me in the sort of the BME program, you'll probably attest that I was always working on something whilst also studying. So I did a lot of freelance work and, ran a lot of Instagram accounts, ran my own Facebook ads, and I was doing that all while studying at the same time. I think it's super important that you get the education, you also apply that education whilst you're sort of learning. And that's what will really kind of make the difference for you in your sort of early career phase here. My first job then out of the BME program was I'd been using the Revolut cards, which is a finance app for those that you don't know. I'd been using it by traveling around to all these different countries, and they really liked my profile. The good thing about the BME program is you have a whole unique experience that not other people have. The fact that you can live in different countries, meet new people outside of your hometown or your home country, and really gain a whole new perspective of opportunities and just how big the world is out there, and meet people that creatively inspire you to do sort of different tasks or different work that you wouldn't normally do back home, and all that experience on the BME program, and then all the work that I was doing and all the unique ideas and creativity I was bringing to the market meant that Revolut were really interested in my profile, and then they hired me in 2017, 2018, I think it was. Fast forward to today, I've been able to keep that great connection within the network of the BME program, and moved into sort of the entrepreneurial front, as Anna mentioned, where I'm starting my own company, raised money, and focusing a lot in the sort of the AI world of where things are sort of going at the moment. And as I mentioned, what makes the BME unique? All your friends and people sort of back home are going to want to. You normally only have one opportunity, right? You either study or you travel, or you study and then you have to travel afterwards. The beauty about BME is you get to condense all that experience into sort of 3 years. And that's really important also, I think, for your life going forward, like to really get all that experience while you're young without responsibilities, and meet all these people and learn all this knowledge that the BME program provides. So the big part is just the people on the program. Like, you're going to be at so many different sort of study abroad campuses. You're going to have Americans, every continent are going to be there in front of you, and this is going to be some of the best years of your life. It was for me anyway.
Oops, I clicked. Okay, thank you, Ryan. It's been great to hear your experiences as a BME alumni. And I will give the floor to Betty.
Hi guys, my name is Betty Luna. I'm here to speak as a BME alumni. A little bit about myself. I'm 23 years old. I'm Ethiopian and Belgian. I live on the seaside in Belgium, and I graduated from my master's degree a couple of months ago, and currently I'm still looking for a job. Going back to how I actually ended up at BME. Go. So I enrolled in BME back in 2021. I had actually just finished my gap year in the US, and I was determined to find a college that would interest me while also giving me the opportunity to go abroad. And that was actually my biggest requirement, because I was, and until this day, I still am very curious to see how the rest of the world is, what daily life looks to people my age somewhere else, and just to, in general, experience different cultures while studying something I'm very passionate about. So after what felt like searching the entire internet, I remember the girl once talked to me about a course that had everything I was looking for, and that's how I found BME. And it turned out to be exactly what I wanted, and actually even more because I'm from Belgium, so the home base of the program being in my home country, which felt like such a perfect balance. In all honesty, I was a bit late with my enrollment back then, but I reached out to Anna, and Anna actually helped me throughout everything real quick, because I was already late, and I don't think I would be here right now without her. So thank you, Anna. The chosen countries I did for BME, my first year I went to Budapest Business School. The reason why I picked Budapest was actually because I really liked the modules they offered within the course and the flexibility the university had. For example, Budapest Business School had their online platform where you could choose your different exam dates. So they usually had 3 different dates for each exam you should take. And the flexibility to actually plan my own exam schedule as a first-year student was a really big deal to me. It really helped to reduce my stress and I also appreciated that I had my own flexibility in that. So yeah, that was great. And another reason why I also chose Budapest was mainly because I had never been in Budapest. I had never been in Hungary for that matter. So I got really excited to explore something new and start fresh. Um, on top of that, I I already had a lot of wait, what was I gonna say? I'm gonna go to the yeah. So, and then obviously, as mentioned before, the second year was in Belgium. It's the normal track, like traject, like we have seen. And for my third year, I chose Dublin. I chose Dublin specifically because in my second year in Belgium, I took a couple of electives, which I really loved. And then when I went to the Partners Fair, I don't know if that's still happening, but that's when I got to see all the classes from every partner. And Dublin Business School had those modules as well. So I got to go even deeper on those specific modules, which I really liked. And the double degree that came with Dublin was the marketing with event management. And during my internship in my second year, I had a lot of events that I got to help prep and execute. And that really like triggered me to go for Dublin Business School because it seemed like the perfect double degree to end my BME journey. And then again, the same reason, I had never been in Dublin. I've always been super curious to the culture in Ireland and to just experience it. So it was ideal. Plus, on top, I made a good friend in my second year, which also ended up going to Dublin. And until this day, she's actually my best friend. So I really had a great last year to finish my BME journey. Then my post-graduation story. As Anna mentioned, I did my master's at the partner of DBS. Mainly, I did it because I wanted to pursue a master's degree. I've always had that in the back of my mind. I wanted to go a bit deeper on or build more on what I've already learned with BME, but go more into specific fields, which ended up me going for a master's in human resource management. That was actually the main reason, and I love that I did that. My master's was amazing, and especially at DBS, the school is relatively small, so it makes it so much easier to connect with people. The school has an entire union student dedicated to their students, so you're feeling very welcoming. It's so much easier to make new friends, to meet new people, and I had such a good experience that I just actually ended up going there for my master's, and it was the best thing. Even with lecturers as well, it was so easy to connect with them and get guidance from them with anything. So that's a bit my post-graduation story. I graduated back in November right now, and now I'm currently looking for a job. The why I would recommend doing the BME, actually just for everything I've said, I think the program made me who I am today, and I don't think I would have been who I am today without it. It challenged me to rely on myself, to tackle challenges on myself, to just put myself out there really, and to go out meet people. And I think all of those skills and abilities are such a great win. And I think that's just something that's always going to be give me an advantage in the work field and having that as baggage. So yeah, I think if you're curious to explore the world and figure out yourself while studying a course you're super passionate about, I think BME is your perfect choice. The challenges I face while studying, I think is realizing that every partner is different. Every partner is different, meaning that every country is different. So that the way the classes are giving, or the way you should prep or handle the workload is different. So my advice would really be to stay on top of your classes, make good notes, and start early on your assignments, and really like plan your exam periods, because I remember my second year felt a bit heavy, and actually just planning made it go a long way. So that would be my biggest advice. What's next for me? I'm looking for a job right now, and I just am trying to figure out to find a job within my BME degree or my master's, because I both love it. The fun thing I've mentioned recently is that in a lot of job descriptions, I get to see a lot of things coming back from my BME degree that I had. So that really feels like an advantage to me. If there are any like specific questions towards me or my journey, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. And I think that's my story.
Thank you so much, Betty. We still have 2 questions for our alumni we think could be interesting for our listeners to hear. The first one is for Ryan. So Ryan, what is a common piece of career advice that you think is given to students today, but you feel is kind of outdated or wrong? You're mute.
Yeah, sorry. I think that people say that you have to pick a specialization in a vertical or in a category and go deep into that, because that's what's going to really set you apart. The way that the world is moving now and how fast things are changing, the real skill that I think, or the best career advice, is to develop this idea about having high agency. So the ability to, see a problem, decide you're going to solve it, and move very fast without, asking too much permission or needing a job title. And that energy, if you bring that to any kind of work, career, job, anything you want, that is probably what's going to hold you in good stead over the next couple of years, combined with like a real high level of curiosity to learn. That is what will sort of keep going, and that doesn't mean you have to go super deep into a very specific topic and a very specific specialization. If anything, you should just go wide and broad until you really figure out what you're truly like cool to do and interested to do. And there's lots of ways that you can do that. So that would be my, the worst career advice that I think people give at the moment.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. It's a very valuable reply. And then for Betty, we also have one question prepared. So having lived abroad for 3 years in 3 different countries, what would be your main takeaway from this experience?
My main takeaway, it would be to just do it, just to dive in, even if you're hesitant about something. Honestly, just do it, because on the long run, you're gonna look back at it all and you're gonna see how much it's impacted you and how much growth you actually got from doing it all. Make new friends, go meet new people. You'll never know where that's going to lead you one day. It's great to have all those connections built up over the years. And yeah, really immerse yourself in that culture as well. So I think really being open really brought me a long way. So I think being open-minded and just doing it all and diving into it and just trusting it's going to be fine.
Okay, that's a great lesson. Thank you, Betty. So let's go back to the slides. Thank you. So if we've managed to convince you that this is indeed a very exciting study program, the application process is very, very easy. The first step would be to apply at UCLL, which is a centralized admission institution. So we go through your high school diploma and we check your English proficiency. And if those 2 things are good, you are admitted to the BME program. So it's very, very fast. You just have to submit all those documents, and then within 2 to 4 weeks, you will know if you're accepted or not. So once you've been accepted, you will receive instructions how to enroll at the preferred year 1 university. So remember, in the overview, you could go to Spain, Finland, Hungary, Denmark, Colombia, and I'm forgetting one, if one of my students knows which I'm forgetting. But one of those countries you can go to. And then you can enroll, and that's it. You pay the tuition fee and you're good to go. So this is only also one of the good things of BME. The admission process is very fair, very easy, very quick, very transparent. So don't wait for it. The deadlines are approaching. The deadline for non-EEA students is 1st of May, so that's in a couple of days. If you are an EEA student, you still have some more weeks. The deadline would be the 15th of June. But in any way, don't wait too long. The places get filled in terms of accommodation easily. So it's always wise to not wait until the end. Also, something important that we want to mention are the fees and costs of the BME program. So because we are working together with many different universities, a lot of different fees apply, which is a good thing because you're able to create your student journey according to the budget you're willing to invest in it. We have partners starting at an academic year fee of 3,500 euros in Budapest, for example, which is very affordable. Year 2 at UCLL is 1,000 euro for EU and 8,600 for non-EU. And if then you would go to Germany, for example, you have a very affordable way of studying and getting a double degree in 3 years' time for not a very big investment. So this is a nice thing. You can just, according to your budget, decide where you want to take your journey in BME. On the right side of the table, you can see some estimations of cost of living. Of course, this depends on your own spend you do monthly, but like a normal figure would be between these ranges. Again, I'm sorry for the noise in the background. So this is just to give you an idea what the BME program would be, like what investments you would be prepared to make. And I think this is my last slide, so we can jump into Q&A. I'm not sure, Luke, if we have some questions there for us.
Yes, indeed, we're going through those now. We have received a couple of questions. We just want to highlight that you can now write your questions at any time. So by all means, please do that. And this is the moment for you to get rid of any doubt or question you may have. We have all these people here. They know the program, and they can give you all the ins and outs. So take advantage. Also like to say that I've opened up a couple of polling questions. So I just opened up the last question as well. So also one before that was what kind of information you're still looking for. So I'll come back to that in a couple of minutes as well. So maybe we can still address that. All right, and let's go to the questions we've received so far. We had a question from Riya, if I say that right. As a Bangladesh student in Cyprus, can I apply?
Anyone can apply. So I would say start the application process. On our website, you can see the application requirements per country. So you can select the country you are from, and it will tell you which diploma we need. So have a look on the website, and if you have any other question, just send me an email. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. You just saw flying in a little button there. So if you click on that, that will actually directly bring you to the apply page for the program. So and later on, I'll show you the general page as well. But there, if you click on it, you can find that link that Anna was referring to. Next question from Jumia, if I say that right, about the admission in the program in Belgium. Can you be enrolled with the E grade from a GCE advanced level instead of a minimum C grade, as they mention in the admission requirement on the website, even with, for example, a motivation of wanting to pursue education at UCLL?
That's another question of admissions. I don't do the admissions myself, so this is a very detailed question. Maybe I would advise you to send an email directly to the admissions office. I can write in the chat maybe the link, the email. This is a very specific question. I'm not sure if I know the answer to it. I don't want to give you wrong information. So it's best to send an email to the admissions office.
Okay, so whilst you do that, go ahead and we'll come back to that. There it is, admission@ucl.be. So there you go. Write that. Also, another question from Yomia. Can you use an English proof certificate from a previous school to show you were taught in English instead of the IELTS?
If it was like an international school that is recognized by the IB school database, then we usually approve of it. But if it's just a school, like a private school that was taught in English, we don't always accept it. So it's best to, when you make your application to upload it, and then we'll see if we can accept it or not. But in the description of our admission requirements, all the proofs of English are there. So usually if it's not on there, it's not approved of. So yeah.
Okay, I hope that answered that question. Thank you. Then we received actually 2 questions about housing. So both asking about how is it to find housing in all the countries, and also does the university help with housing?
Yeah, so you have to look for your own student accommodation. However, the universities do provide you with sources, websites, or links to accommodation platforms. Maybe, Alvis, you can say a little bit about the situation in Finland, for example.
Yes. In fact, as you were speaking, I was thinking about my own process back when I did it in the first year. Yes, they do offer you some resources. For instance, when I was in Finland, even though I went on the private market, there was a housing authority in the form of HOAS, which provides student dormitories that you can easily access. In fact, my friend that was with me, also BME student, she was in a student dorm, Liselot. And yeah, you have to find it yourself, but I would say that if you take it ahead of time, it shouldn't be a problem at all. Now that I have to go to Worcester, in fact, I'm going in the university dormitories. So actually, some may even have housing options, but the research has to be done on your end.
And for Barcelona, maybe Matthias, very briefly.
Yeah. So for Barcelona, I really didn't have much trouble. I stayed in the dorms of the university, which I would recommend to look for something a bit more close to the university. But yeah, it wasn't really a problem. Also, if you apply and you're accepted, usually Sergi, who is the one who is always looking out for the BME students and everything, if you ask, they will always send you information. And if you, for example, have a contract or something and you're not really sure, you can always send it to them, and they will check if it's good, if it's reliable source, and if it is, they'll give you the okay, and they'll help you with anything you need.
Okay. Thank you. And I hope that answered those questions. So that was actually also coming up in the polling. Housing was one that people wanted to know more about. So hopefully that answered that. In the meantime, let's see, we did get some more questions. So Steve is asking, how are exams given in Budapest? Are they oral, written, or presentation?
I'll let Betty answer that one.
They are actually all on the computer. A lot of your midterms happened actually just from your home, and you would have to log into your exam, and there's a timer and you record it. That's what they used to do for the midterms. And for The big exam seasons, you would have to go into college and it would be on a computer. So they weren't orally or written. It was always on a computer.
Okay. Thank you. Next question from Said. What's the chance of attracting a scholarship from the university?
Unfortunately, we're going to have to disappoint Said because there are no scholarship offered within the BME program, unfortunately.
Okay. Thank you. And a question from Omfetmetse, if I say that right. So can I be able to study online and get results in the end of the course, or do I have to apply straight abroad?
Yeah, you would have to go to the country where the university is located to study. There's no online pathway for BME. That's also one of the great things of BME is that you can travel abroad and experience the local culture. You cannot have that experience online. So yeah, it doesn't really match what BME stands for if we would offer it online.
Okay. Good, thank you. Those were the questions we received so far. So if you still have any questions, we still have some time left. So do let us know. Also, I opened up the polling. So if you haven't answered, please let us know your feedback from the polling questions. And by the way, people watching the recording, because I know these days a lot of people do, you can all still participate as well. So you can all still answer polling questions. You can even write questions here right in this webinar. Of course, we cannot answer them right away, but we will be able to send them through to the staff and of Anna and her colleagues, and they can come back to you then probably by email. So thanks for that as well. We received another question from Steve. Is it feasible in the second year BME?
It's a tough year, the second year. I'll give the floor to one of the students maybe, but what I can tell you is that it consists of 2 semesters. So one semester would be classes, and you would have quite a lot of classes, I think around 7 or 8 courses. And the second semester would be an internship. So no more classes, but also quite challenging. And maybe I'll let Alvis say how he feels the second year is going for him in terms of challenges.
I would say that it's doable. Of course, it's tough, as in, like she just said, it's based in 2 semesters, of which one has essentially the content of 2. It's actually 9 classes. And the second semester is the internship, which is full-time work. But I would say that it's totally doable. I mean, you see 2 examples here of people that have done it and graduated. Me and my colleague Matthias are doing it right now, I would say successfully, with no big issues. So I would, Leuven is also nice. It's a nice city. It's a fun experience, although of course it will require you to do your best and put some more effort than usual, as it's a very packed year.
Yeah, I can also add that BME is a very applied education. So it's not that we'll be giving you textbooks full of theory and go home and study. No, we will, of course, see some theory, but then we'll put it into practice straight away. So if you just come to class and actively participate in the assignments that are given to you to apply what you learn, usually our students are fine, but you need to be motivated to learn and actively engage in classes. So you should be fine then.
Okay, thank you. So those were the questions again. So actually, we did open up the polling, so maybe we can briefly look at that as well. So the top one, what kind of information people are still looking for, was actually cost of living. So that's maybe an interesting one to briefly tackle. I know there's, of course, depends on the different countries, I would say, but maybe, yeah, some of the students can maybe say something about that.
Yeah, Matthias, go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely depends on the country. For example, I can speak of what I've lived. Barcelona was relatively cheap. Obviously, it depends on your style of living. If you cook, if you don't cook, but usually, I think it's a very reasonable price in Barcelona. For example, Belgium is a bit more pricey, more or less, especially because of the here the living cost. I think it's a bit above, also because of the housing. But in general, I believe it depends on you and depends on your lifestyle, and it'll fully depend on you. And if you know how to manage that, you'll be okay.
Maybe Betty in Dublin, how is it there?
For Dublin, Dublin is more pricey than Belgium, I would say. But again, it's as what Matthias said. It depends on your lifestyle. It goes a long way to do grocery shopping and just cook for yourself instead of take out an order. So if you actually just do it in a smart way and keep yourself a bit grounded, it's a great place, and it actually is okay costs of living. Um, you can also, like, it is pricey, but you will find out there are other places you can go and get the same for a less for just being less expensive by going a bit out of the city center or going around it. So actually, once you figured it out after a month or something and you settle in, it's gonna be fine.
Great. Good to hear. Thank you for your input. And yeah, so those were the questions we've received so far. If there are no other questions left, then I think everything is clear and then everything has been explained. We've had all the great insights, of course, from the students, career paths, heard about housing, a lot of the different ways and how this degree can benefit you. So I hope that was useful. I will have a last polling question open in a minute, but if we don't have any questions more, then we can slowly round it off, and maybe Anna, you can help us with that. Whilst I'll put the link to the website on the
Yeah.
screen.
Thank you, Luke, and thank you everyone for being here. It's been great to talk to you and explain to you more about BME, what the program entails, and what it can give you in your future professional career or academic life. So yeah, I hope it triggered some interest. Feel free to reach out to us if you have questions. I also did not link the Instagram page of BME, but if you go to BME degree on Instagram, you can see student life because it's student generated content. So it's very cool page to go follow. Yeah, don't hesitate to reach out if you have any more questions. And if we manage to convince you, don't wait too long to start your applications. So you can start looking for accommodation in time, and yeah, you don't miss out. Thank you.
There's the link already to Instagram. And thanks everyone as well. As a last point, as mentioned, we have a last polling question. Sorry for the ones I block here, but that's just to know how we did. So let us know your feedback and anything you want to mention. Of course, we make these webinars for you in the end, for all you potential students that are looking to study this degree. So thanks for all the students from my side for your time and your useful insights. And again, for everybody else that joined in from the different countries that we saw. And so long. Bye-bye for now. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone. See you.